What's up, everybody? Eric here with another EWE Reviews. Today I'm reviewing Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Before we get into that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know you want to review next. But yeah, guys, this is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. This will be a spoiler-free review. This is a PG-13 rating film. But before I say that more, I will have... There are going to be spoilers for Ghostbusters Afterlife in this film. So if you want to know my thoughts on that film, go check out my review. I'll try and put a link in the description down below. But yeah, this is the sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife. Just technically a sequel to Ghostbusters 2. But yeah, guys, like I said, PG-13. This released on March 22nd, 2024. This had a budget of $100 million. And as of March 25th, 2024, it's made $61.6 million. The director for this film is Gil Keenan. The cast, very much a lot of the same cast from the last film, are Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Paul Rudd, Logan Kim, Celeste O'Connor, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson. And this has a runtime of 115 minutes, so it's slightly shorter. I watched this in theaters because, you know, this time I actually did watch the Ghostbusters film on time, and I saw this in Dolby format, and this does have a little credit scene right at the start. I don't think it has a final scene, but right as soon as they start, there's going to be one. Alright, so the plot of this film is when the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters new and old must join forces to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age. So that's the basic plot. I'm trying to get some of these plots from IMDb, where it's like super short and like it's trying not to give too much, so I'm trying to be good with that, guys. But you like a lot of this stuff, you'll see like at least basic stuff in the trailer. So my thoughts on the film, and again, spoiler free. So it had cool visuals and interesting ideas. This is more original than Ghostbusters Afterlife. Ghostbusters Afterlife was pretty much redoing the Gozer story, while this one, it was like, okay, it's a new villain, new idea of how they're going to deal with them, and the whole Ice Age thing, that was something they haven't done before. It was similar to the slime with Vigo in Ghostbusters 2, but I'll say that Ice is different enough, so I'll count it as different. Though some of the ideas with all these Ghostbuster films is always like, oh, there's some mega villain, and they're going to be trying to unleash them, they're going to try and use, like, different stuff. And it's one of, like, the weird things about these Ghostbusters films, but it's like, sometimes there's a formula. And I like the tech that this team has in this film. I was like, oh, new cool gadgets. Like, we got cool new gadgets in Afterlife. We get new ones in this one as well. And the old cast, I think in this film, did a better job of, like, how they put them in the film. It wasn't just like in the last film, it felt like, oh, an Ex Machina, they showed up to help stop Gozer at the end, which I didn't like. Here was like, oh no, they're more naturally in the story. It kind of helps that they're back in New York for this film. But yeah, it made more sense of how they had them in this film compared to the last one. And there's cool nostalgia things in this film that was like, okay, you can tell that's like a callback to an old Ghostbusters film. And the villain, I will say, is interesting, even though he's like kind of basic. I thought he was pretty interesting. I actually liked that. It was similar to Vigo, but a little bit more like evil, in my opinion. And there are some sweet moments in this film. I'll give it credit. Like, although it's not related necessarily to like the main story plot of like the villain, I did think some stuff here were sweet. I'll say that. So let's move on to the bad and where to begin with this film, because I thought this film did have a lot of bad in it. I'm not necessarily saying that I'm saying it's a bad film, but it had a lot of bad in it. So first off, there's way too many characters. If you thought there was already a lot in the last one when you brought back the old cast, they're even bringing more cast for this film, and it's just like, okay, like everyone can only get so much screen time before it's like it's a little bit too much. And I thought this film went a little bit too heavy with too many characters, in my opinion. I think it could have maybe taken a few people out and it's still done very similar, but no, they went with like a huge number of people. And this movie has the same problem as the last film, where it relies heavily on nostalgia, and this time it did get to me where I will say it affected my score, where I'm like, all right guys, like you're trying to do all these callbacks like the old Ghostbusters films. It's like, we gave you callbacks in the last one, you don't need to overdo it. Like, we get it, like it's Ghostbusters, you don't need to like go that far back. So like that did annoy me here a little bit. And one of the big things that I don't think the plot was that good. People are gonna be mad at me for that one, but it's like, if you actually like like everyone's gonna be entertained with this film, and I was entertained, don't get me wrong. But when you actually like look at the story, I feel like you'll have moments where like, wait, why did they do that? That doesn't make sense. Wait, why is that character doing that? Like, there's many moments where, like, if you really go back and think about it, you're like, that was very dumb. And it's just like, you guys just had to do that. Like, so many things have to go perfect in this film for this exact set of circumstance to happen. And I mean perfect, like things that like, whoa, how did that happen? Like, so much of it. And then I'm not sure if I like the final battle in this film. Like, they tried to set it up in a certain way, but when you actually like look at the battle again, it was like, what? Why would you guys do it that way? So yeah, that's going with this one for me. So let's move on to something like I've been trying to do, the not good, not bad, just like a thought. I think there's a lot missing between Ghostbusters Afterlife and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. One thing in particular, and like I said, I'll say some spoilers for Ghostbusters Afterlife here. In Ghostbusters Afterlife, I'm pretty sure Paul Rudd's character says, oh, there hasn't been a ghost sighting in years. Well, then how do you explain now that there's ghosts in New York when the stuff that happened in Afterlife happened in Oklahoma? How did that affect there that now the ghosts are suddenly showing up in New York? That kind of felt like, wait, that didn't make any sense. And even the way that they were kind of explaining things in this film, it kind of felt like, have they still been having ghosts? Like, I think the thing that keeps getting me is like, well, couldn't we just gone back to the original film and just say, like, when they did the original film, like, yeah, ghosts are a real thing. Just that we don't need Ghostbusters anymore because like they're expensive or like they're not as useful. There's not as many evil ghosts. I don't know. That was something that did bother me with Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is just like, oh, we haven't seen a ghost, but yet some people do know about it. It's just like, you would think if ghosts were real, everyone would know about it. Like, that wouldn't be something like, oh, even kids wouldn't know. Like, everyone would know. So yeah, let's move on now to my score, guys. And I will admit, I was a lot more down on this movie right after watching it, but I kind of came back to my thoughts and was just like, all right, what do I really think? And I'm actually gonna give this a 6 out of 10 for okay. I don't think it's good because, like I said, the plot had me in points where I was just like, what the hell is going on? I got confused, and I'm like, I shouldn't be confused with this movie because they were doing like weird plot stuff that just didn't work for me. But I think the sweet moments, the cool tech, I did like the team, even though it's too many characters. I did like the team overall, and I thought like nostalgia was there and it definitely hit me, but I think they could have toned it down. But yeah, guys, 6 out of 10. I do recommend people watch this because I still think it's entertaining. Do I think I'll say it's better than Ghostbusters 2016, but I would say it's still like not anything special. It's okay. I was debating going mediocre, but I'm being nice today. Alright, guys, so my next reviews, and this one's a movie that just came out of nowhere. I didn't even know it was coming out. I'm going to be watching Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. Now, why am I doing this to myself? I don't know, but I'm going to go watch it, and please pray for me, because I feel like I'm going to regret that. So watch out for that review, and I still owe you the Avatar spoiler and spoiler-free reviews. Don't worry, those are still in the works, just trying to get those recorded. Alright, guys, thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon.